Hi everybody, Penny here. Welcome to my kitchen. So today we are going to make sweet and sour pork. Now if you don't like pork, you can just as easily do this with chicken or even turkey. But sweet and sour pork is what we're doing today. So I got my induction cooktop going here and I'm going to put a little bit of oil in there so it doesn't stick. And while that's heating up, I'll show you. I've got 4 pork chops. 4 boneless pork chops, and I've seasoned them with salt and pepper, and I've put Worcester sauce, about a tablespoon or so, sprinkled over the top, and that's been sitting for about 20 minutes or so. So we are going to brown those when that gets a little warmer. I just put that one in as a test. We're going to brown those, not cook them all the way through, but just brown them, then put them on a plate, and then we're going to add our vegetables. Now the vegetables that we have, I have 2 larger carrots. This will feed about 4 people, maybe 6. I have 1 already diced up or sliced up or whatever way you want to call it. 1 stalk of celery. I have actually 5 little onions because that's what I had. But if you have 2 nice sized onions, perfect. And we have a green pepper and we have 3 cloves of garlic. If you're not fussy on garlic, you can easily use garlic powder. Excuse me, the timer's on. There we go. And you can use garlic powder, or you can use 1 clove of garlic, or you can use more. But I've got 3 going here. So my pan looks nice and warm. I can see it sizzling. There we go. Now put that aside. So you don't want your pan to be like on super high, but you do want it to be high enough that it's going to brown the meat without burning it. Because if your pan is not high enough, you're going to end up steaming your meat, and that defeats the purpose, because we want nice brown color so that we can get some extra flavor. Okay, so while that's browning, because this is a sweet and sour dish, we don't want to mince or finely dice our onions. This is a really small one. We basically just want to do that. This is a bigger one, so I'll do it 3 times across. Now, of course, I've already peeled these, but remember, you want to have a nice flat side when you're cutting, okay? Don't try and cut your onions without a flat side, or anything that you can get a flat side on, because flat gives you more control and it's safer. So, there we go. Oh, I'm sniffing already. When I watch these videos back, I'm always sniffing and annoyed with myself. But I can't help it. Oh well, it is what it is. Excuse me. Alright, so we're getting our onions going here. This is a fairly small one again, so I'm just going to quarter that one. And there we go. There we are. Almost. Oh, there's a bit of skin on that one. Should be removed. I don't know if you can see that. See, it's a little brown. Just that little bit of brown. So you want to take that off. You don't need that in your sweet and sour sauce. There we go. There we are. Now we're going to give our pork a good stir. And as you can see, we've got brown bits. Oops. Oops. We've got brown bits. And that's just what we're looking for. We're not looking to cook it through, but we are looking to make it nice and brown. So now we have a carrot. So I've already got 1 done. As you can see, the end of the carrot is a little bit smaller than the top. But you want your pieces to be roughly the same size. So around the middle, we're going to cut it in half. Then we're going to take our knife, put it on the top, watch your fingers, and slice it right down through. Then we got a flat side. Always try and get a flat side. Now I'm just going to cut them diagonally, but you can cut them whatever way, shape, or form that you like. And remember, the train goes this way, and we're going this way with our knife. A backwards train is the way to go. So we're going to do the exact same thing with the bigger half. Nice and flat. And then we're just going to backward strain. There we are. I'm going to give this meat another stir. There we go. Some nice flavors building up there. Excellent. All right. Don't worry about being fast. It's better to be safe. Speed will come with time. Alrighty, now we got our green pepper. So the green pepper, you can slice down this way. Then you got your flat. Slice down this way. Slice down this way. And slice down this way. And if you want, you can take the end. Okay? Oh, missed an onion. So again, you don't want this finely diced because it is a sweet and sour. And you want your vegetables to be bite-sized pieces, but not necessarily fine like you would in a spaghetti sauce. Something like that. So we're just going to chop that down. Take out the pithy part. There we go. And we'll take out the pithy part again. Before we do that, I'm going to put this on a plate. We're going to turn it off. I'm just going to remove it and put it on a plate because we don't want it to overcook. And it's going to cook a little bit in the sauce. So I have my burner off now because I don't want the pan to burn. And the veggies are not quite ready. They're very close, not quite. So I'm just going to take that out. Lay them on a plate. Oh, it looks so good. And we're not even halfway there. Yay. There we go. Ta-da. Now I'm just going to put a little bit more oil in there because we'll need that for our vegetables, which we're almost ready to do. Now, if you like red pepper, yellow pepper, orange pepper, you can easily put as much or as little peppers as you like. But typically, this recipe calls for a green pepper. And if you don't like carrots, say, or you don't like peppers, maybe you can use some bok choy. Maybe you can use some chunked up cabbage. Raw cabbage would be awesome in a stir fry. You could use, what else could you use? You could even use turnip if you wanted to. Baby bok choy is really, really good. Any vegetable that you might want to stir fry, mushrooms, even raw broccoli, raw cauliflower, you could put any or all of those into this dish. But for today, we've got our celery, 1 stalk, 2 large carrots or 3 medium, 2 nice sized onions or as many onions as you can, and 1 nice sized green pepper. So those are the vegetables, and we're going to put those on now. There we go. And you want your vegetables, when they're cooked, to still have a little bit of a bite to them. Now, having that said, if you're not fussy about raw vegetables and you want to cook these all the way, you go for it. Whatever floats your boat, so to speak. Okay. So while those are sauteing, we are going to make our sweet and sour sauce. So in the sweet and sour sauce, I have 1 cup of chicken broth. Now I didn't have any actual chicken broth, so I have 1 cup of hot water and 2 packets of the OXO, chicken OXO. So either or, whatever you have in the house. And if you don't have any chicken broth or OXO in the house, you can just use water, not a problem. So it also calls for a couple of tablespoons of soy sauce. And every time we get Chinese food, they give us like a handful of these soy sauce things. So I'm going to use those today, see if I can use up some of them. I'm going to use 4. That may or may not be actually 2 tablespoons, but it's okay. And if you like, really like the flavor of soy sauce, you can add more. It's not a problem. Be careful with the salt though, because soy sauce is very, very salty. So I'm not adding any salt to the vegetables. I did put a bit of salt on the pork chops, of course, to season them before we sauteed them. But I didn't put any in the vegetables. Stir. Oh, it looks good already. All right. So now we're also going to have 1 tablespoon, 1 packed tablespoon of brown sugar. When you're using brown sugar, it will say packed or not, because brown sugar is not heavy like white sugar is. So if you want a full tablespoon or whatever measurement you're using, you need to pack it down a little bit in order to get the proper measurement. And sometimes the recipe will say lightly packed or firmly packed. Firmly packed means press it down there and get it all in. Okay, we're also going to use, now you could use apple cider vinegar. I happen to have some white wine vinegar in the fridge. You could use red wine vinegar. If all you have is balsamic vinegar, go for it. It's really the acid that you're looking for. So we are going to put in 2 tablespoons. 1, 2, and so we've got our chicken, we've got our vinegar, we've got our soy sauce, we've got our brown sugar. Now we're going to do our garlic. Give this another stir. So good. And I'm not putting the garlic in with the vegetables because I don't want my garlic to burn. But the sauce is going to cook in there for about 5 minutes, so it's not going to be raw garlic. You could just slice the garlic and put it in there at the very end if you wanted to. And we're just going to give it a good crush. There we go. So put the garlic on its side, put the blade facing away from you, and give it a good smack. Just like that. And what happens then is the skin comes off very easily. Just like that. You're not fighting with it to get the skin off. There we go. Now, there we are. So I am just going to slice that up very finely. And then chop it this way, very finely. Remember to be very, very careful with your fingers. Make sure you keep your claw, especially your pinky. He tends to stick out, and you don't want to cut him. And because I don't mind big chunks of garlic like that, but we're just going to chop it up a little more. Nothing serious, just a little more. There we are. And we're going to put that in with our sweet and sour sauce. There we go. And that garlic will infuse into the sauce. And there we are. Now, I'm going to grab a little spoon. Because I just want to taste, see if it needs anything. We also have a can of crushed pineapple. If I wasn't putting the pineapple in there, I would probably add some more brown sugar or even a little bit of molasses or honey. But we are going to put some crushed pineapple. You could use the tidbits, the cubed pineapple, totally up to you. I like the flavor of pineapple, not so much the texture, so that's why we're using crushed. So let's give this another stir. And that has some nice color. Look at the color on those onions. Very good. So now we're going to put in our sour at this point. because it is quite sour without the pineapple in there, even though it does have a little bit of brown sugar. And that's going to come up to a simmer. We're going to let that simmer for about 5 minutes. And then we're going to add some cornstarch and water. Sorry, and the pineapple. And then we're going to put our meat back in. Actually, we're going to put our meat back in before we do that. Sorry. Okay, so we will be back in 5 minutes. Okay, everybody, it's been 5 minutes and we're back. So as you can see, I covered it for the 5 minutes. Nice heavy cover. Ooh, facial. And nice roaring bubble there. Now, how long you let this go depends on how well you want your veggies done. I want mine to still be fairly crisp. So I only let it go for 5 or 6 minutes. Now, we need to turn it down just a tad, and we're going to make what's called a slurry. So I have a 1/4 cup of cold water, and I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And cornstarch is a thickener. There we go. And we're going to stir that up. And it needs to be cold water. If you do hot water, it's just going to be one big clump. So cold water, and you just stir it. And then we are going to, we're going to pour that into our sweet and sour pork. And then you need to stir to get it all in there. And you will notice that that sauce, when the heat hits the cornstarch, is going to become thick. Can you see that? Can you come over, Barry? Watch when I move my spoon. You see? When I move my spoon, see how it separates into the pan? So it's thickening almost instantly. There we go. And you need to cook that for a minute or so you don't get a cornstarchy taste on your sauce. Now we're going to put in our pineapple. And it's 1 can of crushed pineapple. Or like I said, you can put in your tidbits cubed pineapple. You can just use pineapple juice. If you don't have pineapple, if you don't like pineapple, you could easily use orange juice. So that's maybe 1.5 cups of orange juice, or you could use apple juice if you don't like pineapple. Totally up to you. And as you can see, everything has a lovely shine. It's nice and thick. And ta-da! Supper is ready. So, we have a pot of lovely rice here that Barry cooked. Barry is the rice master in our house. Just some basmati rice, or you could put it over egg noodles, or you could eat it just like it is. Totally up to you. So a nice little bit of rice. And then we have our sweet and sour pork. And isn't that pretty? And that's what's for supper tonight. So I hope you give it a go. It's not too hard. Make it your own. Maybe use chicken. Maybe use orange juice instead of the pineapple. It's all good. Bye. Enjoy.